man, god damn. We got another one. 5 suspects that confessed to murder in court. Where they do that at? Alright, let's see what it's hitting for.
This is Scott Nelson, who is facing first-degree murder charges after killing a nanny in Orlando, Florida.
So you committed the worst possible crime.
Nelson was recently released from a 25-year prison sentence for a bank robbery. After he was let go from his painting job, he decided to plan another robbery. Nelson broke into a house with a knife where a nanny was working as a caregiver. He kidnapped her, threw her in the trunk, and drove to a local ATM so he could withdraw cash. Nelson then drove to a remote location and stabbed her to death before ditching her body and the car, where he was later arrested. On trial, Nelson argued that the government was to blame.
You bought zip ties.
Yes, I did.
You bought duct tape.
That'd be correct.
You bought a knife.
I sure did. I bought that material because
I sure
I
did.
had a plan in mind of how I was going to survive being thrown on the street again for what? The third or was it the fourth time by the government? And you know, you kick a dog enough times, they tend to bite back. And really, they just don't care anymore.
Nelson continues testifying, showing no emotion, and finally admits to the murder.
Somebody was going to pay for how you've been treated.
That is very accurate.
Who killed Jennifer Fulford?
I did.
He took the stand during the penalty phase, and this is what he had to say.
How has your mental health been affected by your previous incarceration?
I am a homicidal maniac.
In the end, Nelson was found guilty of first-degree murder and was sentenced to life.
This is the first time I've ever seen anything like this before. I didn't know this stuff even existed. Like, I thought I seen everything, but goddamn,
In prison. This is Dante Wright, who at 17 years old shot and killed a pioneer high school student in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Wright and 2 others jumped and attacked the 18-year-old student in an attempt to rob him. While fighting back, he was shot in the head, and his body was left on a path until a maintenance worker found him. The boys were caught soon after and arrested. It was here Wright was supposed to have a pre-trial hearing, but instead he admitted to the crime in return for a plea deal.
Did you in fact rob Jordan Fleet?
Yeah.
And did you use a gun to place him in fear in order to take his property?
Yeah.
And as a result of that armed robbery, what did you do with that gun and Mr. Jordan Fleet?
Shot him.
And where did you shoot him?
On top. Isaiah.
And did you kill him with that shot?
Yes.
Now, at his sentencing, the victim's family delivers a victim impact statement.
Your Honor, my name is Courtney Clay, and I'm Karen's cousin. She's asked me to read this on her behalf. I've lost my only child, my son, my baby, my friend. More than that, I've lost laughter and love. I no longer have the hope of having grandchildren. I've lost the enjoyment of holidays and birthdays and of everyday life. This year was supposed to be a year of celebration, of senior pictures with...
See, he's smiling right now like, yeah, I did it. I don't care. But then when you're in jail for that, like, 8th, 9th, 10th year, you're going to be like, damn, bro. All for a little robbery, bro. Like, jail, they really take away everything from you. I don't know if some of y'all ain't been to jail, but that shit is whack.
with prom and graduation and parties. Instead, it was a nightmare that no parent should ever endure. There will never be an answer good enough to satisfy why you shot my son.
Wright can be seen smirking and seemingly showing no remorse.
Your actions have led you to a prison cell, but have also created an empty cell that I live in every day. While you can still hope to be released one day, I'll never escape my hell. You are still alive, but Jordan has no future.
And now, it's Wright's turn to address the court for his actions.
I just want to tell y'all, I'll be home soon. R.I.P. Keon, I love my family.
And now the judge threatens to throw out the plea deal.
Watching you sit there, smile and laugh and shake your head like this was no big deal, I'm very tempted to just say, I'm not going to accept this sentence agreement. We'll go to trial, and if you're convicted...
Yo, them judges, man, you'll sign something, right? And then they'll just add something in there, like, right? They could just do that. Like, what? I didn't sign for that. Like, I ain't gonna get into how it happened to me, but, like, I signed for something that was clear on paper, and then, like, right before, they was like, the judge was about to hit the guy, was like, oh, yeah, you gotta also, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoa, everybody was shocked. Even the prosecution was shocked, but that's what judges be doing.
Of felony murder, you'll go to prison for the rest of your life. That means you'll die there. That's what I'm tempted to do.
After an hour-long recess, the judge and prosecution finally decided to accept the plea deal. He is currently facing a 25 to 52-year prison sentence. This is Jessica Groves, who along with her husband, Daniel Groves, are both charged with the murder of their own 2-month-old child in Portsmouth, Ohio.
Tell the jury how you killed this baby.
It was an accident.
Not your excuse. How did you murder this baby? How did you cause these injuries?
Reportedly, when the father found the child unresponsive, he later testified he didn't alert authorities because his wife threatened to blame him. That's when the child's body was found at the bottom of a 30-foot well inside a milk crate, wrapped in plastic. Reports found that the child...
Y'all believe the husband? That kind of makes it kind of complicated now. I don't know. He might be telling the truth, but even then still, you still would have been in this position, because if you would have called the police and she blamed him, they probably would have believed her, but then the evidence, I'm gonna let it keep playing.
suffered fractures to his skull, arms, ribs, and leg. The mother and father had initially pleaded not guilty, but in a shocking twist, Miss Groves takes full responsibility for the killing of the child.
Jessica, did you, and you only, cause the death of your son, Dylan Groves?
Yes.
Did Daniel Groves participate in the killing of Dylan?
No.
Was Daniel Groves aware of any of the injuries that you caused that may have led to his death?
No.
Did you hide all injuries that you caused Dylan from your husband?
Yes.
Prosecutors initially claimed they...
Well, there goes the plot twist. I mean, shit. I'm just watching this for the first time like y'all, hey, there it is.
They were both responsible for the child's death, and now they demand the truth.
How did you murder this baby? How did you cause these injuries?
I have sit here and admitted.
Answer the question, please. How did you cause these injuries?
It was an accident.
Not your excuse for what happened. How did you cause these injuries?
By dropping him.
How did you cause that first 2-inch skull fracture?
I don't
She rock bottom that baby. That's how she dropped him. She said,
remember. I've admitted to my guilt.
How did you?
And I have to live without my children. I'm done talking to you.
You are talking to me because you're sitting on the witness stand. Tell them how you caused that injury.
Miss Groves is unable to remember how the child was killed.
No
but she claims
tears.
she is the sole reason for the child's murder and acted alone.
tears.
My client, Jessica Groves, was and still is a drug addict. There is no doubt about that fact. She, and she alone, caused the injuries to Dylan Groves, which led to his death. She murdered Dylan Groves.
Groves was found guilty on all 11 counts and was given life in prison with no possibility of parole. Her husband was cleared of aggravated murder, but he was found guilty on the remaining 10 charges and was sentenced to 47 years to life in prison. This is Antonio Barbeau, who with his best friend Nathan Pop brutally murdered his great-grandmother in an attempted robbery in Sheboygan County, Wisconsin.
We got in, and then I looked to Nate, he nodded, and then I took the first swing.
Okay, and when you say that you took the first swing is with the hand axe?
Yes, sir.
The boys, who were both only 13 at the time, had intended to sneak up at his great-grandmother's and rob her. But upon showing up at the house, they were spotted and invited inside. She was attacked with a hatchet.
Bro, yo, great grandmama, dog, you could just ask her for the money, bro. They can't wait to give money away. They old, they don't got nothing to spend it on. They did everything, bro. Like, just ask her for it. Like, grandparents and great grandparents will spoil you like hell. Like, they'll give you like $10,000 just because, like, hey, don't tell your mom.
And a hammer, ultimately being struck at least 27 times until she died.
She started heading into the living room falling.
And as she was falling, did you strike her again?
I hit one more time as she was falling.
At any point, did you not have the hand axe during this incident?
Right after that, Nate took it and he used it, the blade side of it.
You said that he took off the sweater. By that, do you mean the sweater that you had given him?
Yes.
Why did he do that?
I think because it was getting in the way.
Getting in the way of what?
Him swinging.
They then stole $155 in cash and some jewelry before stealing the car and ditching it at a local bowling alley, hoping to frame someone else for the crime. A few days later, both boys were arrested. Now in court, Barbeau takes the stand to testify.
We were going to try to scare her to get money and then use force if needed.
And when you say use force if needed, was there a discussion about what type of force you might use?
An attack, I guess to kill.
Barbeau pleaded no contest to first-degree intentional homicide as part of a plea deal where he was sentenced to life in prison with eligibility for parole in 36 years, where he would then be 50 years old. In his final statement, his lawyer had to finish his thoughts.
I know I don't show my emotions much. I myself am not sure why, but that doesn't mean I don't.
I took away someone's mother, grandma.
You only crying is going to jail, bro. You hit her your great grandmama 27 times with an axe, bro. No remorse, no sympathy for you. You're gonna get it in jail.
Sister
with your butt.
When I had no right to do so.
Pop was sentenced to life in prison as well, but with a chance of parole when he's 45 years old. This is Michelle Blair, who is convicted of murdering 2 of her own children in Detroit, Michigan.
Everybody want to know, yes, I did kill her!
Blair would reportedly beat and starve her 4 children.
Okay, I'm not a psychologist, but she's clearly insane. I don't know if she should go to jail, but an insane asylum is basically the same thing. But like, she's obviously not like, all the way there.
Eventually, she found out her 9-year-old son was abusing her youngest son, and that's when Blair reportedly tortured her son for weeks as punishment, resulting in the child's death. Then Blair hid his body in the home freezer. 9 months later, Blair allegedly found out that her 13-year-old daughter was also abusing her youngest son. That's when she began starving her daughter and beating her until she died. Blair kept this a secret for 3 years, telling people that the kids were homeschooled or always out of the house. Eventually, police entered the house due to an eviction notice, where they found the children's bodies in the freezer, and Blair was arrested immediately, where she would shockingly confess to the judge.
You meant to kill her.
I definitely meant to kill her.
It wasn't an accident.
No, not at all. If I had a chance to do it again, I would.
Blair pleaded guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder.
I've confessed 3 times. I'm not going to stop saying what I did.
These are very serious charges with very serious consequences. If you were to plead guilty to a first-degree murder charge, that is life in prison without the possibility of parole.
I know this. I'm not going to come back like, I didn't understand my rights. I'm not a coward.
And she was later sentenced to life in prison.
You're therefore sentenced to the Michigan Department of Corrections for the rest of your life without the possibility of parole, meaning, of course, that you will never get out.
Blair is currently serving her sentence at the Huron Valley Correctional Facility in Michigan.
I don't know how to feel about so many people that are like mentally unstable going to actual prisons. Like, I seen one, he was a white gentleman. He had the same demeanor. Well, he didn't have no outbursts, but like, he would like calmly say, yeah, I did this, and this. And he got off by reason of insanity, but you still got to go to it. You don't just get off free. You go to insane asylum, which is pretty much a jail anyway. But that's what. Hey, I ain't gonna say it. Y'all know. Do I gotta pull out the card? I don't got a card, bro. You get it.